Welcome back, Coomers, to Rental Girlfriend Set Review. It's your boy, Andy. I'm back with Brian and Carmen.
What's
Hello,
up?
hello.
I'm here.
We're recording on a different night this time, so no Jason just yet, but hopefully he'll be able to jump back in later when he gets off work. But let's get right into it with... Oh, do you see what it is? My favorite, a Brainstormer. I forget who this chick is since last time, but she is a salvage brainstorm, and when your other character's opponent becomes reversed, you choose one of your rag characters and pump them 500 for the turn. So it's like a rolling power pump whenever you get a reverse.
This is the clock condition for all the Sumi stuff. So you have to play it if you're playing the best package in the set. And you have to play 4 of it because it's got to go in your level at level 1.
Yep.
The Sumi being the green card we looked at last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
early play.
I thought that played off of the event card, though. That's how you got it in.
What is it? All the other stuff requires this in level, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't there a condition on this? Not exactly the event. It's the combo that we'll look at.
Yeah, but the whole Sumi package keys off.
Oh, it's for the power. It's for the power for the early play. Otherwise, she'd only be an 8/5. But yep, salvage brainstorm as it stands. It's just like good playable card.
Yep, B for brainstorm.
What's the opinion on the plus 500 rolling power? So
Pretty good for edging out lanes.
Novel thing to talk about here.
It's good. Yeah.
Am I reading that wrong, or is that when? Oh, it is when the battle opponent of your other character. Never mind. Yeah, I can't read.
It edges out lanes as you win other lanes. You need reverses at one reverse rather. So, but you're not really wanting for power. It's just nice. It's always good to have a relevant effect.
Yeah.
Just stacks as the game goes on.
Very good.
Pretty
Seems
simple.
fine.
All right, next.
All right, we've got the level 1 Chizuru combo. During your turn, if you have another Rent-A-Girlfriend trait character, this gets 3k power. So swings at 8k with the Climax. Climax combo, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can discard a Rent-A-Girlfriend character from your hand. If you do, or hold on, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if the gate is in your Climax zone, you can salvage a Rent-A-Girlfriend character. Then you may discard a Rent-A-Girlfriend character to salvage another Rent-A-Girlfriend character or the 2/0 Chizuru event.
Just a better America.
Yep, swings at 8k. Pretty hits over 7/5 standby targets at level 1.
If you don't want to play stand by yourself, which I personally would recommend for this set, this is the level 1 combo that you probably play.
This is the one, yeah.
Yeah, just because it's a double filter. Gate's a good trigger. The event ends up being, I think, a little bit too costly, was the general consensus. The way it works, it's a way for you to cheat your finisher in at level 2, but it's delayed by a turn. Card like goes to memory and then it has to sit there until your next draw phase or climax phase or something like that.
Yeah.
So like you have to have all the pieces in the right place and it has to sit there for a turn, which can be kind of annoying depending on your refresh timing.
I mean, if you set it up well, you do get a bunch of heals for free off the finisher, but it just seems okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of cards, but you do have a way to get it into your hand consistently at low counts if you run this, which is good since we talked about it in the other colors, but Rental Girlfriend's pretty hard up for mill, so having any way to consistently get lower count cards is pretty important.
This reminds me a lot of the Felicia from Madoka Magica record.
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
It has like a on reverse salvage, and then you can pay the cost to get another effect. Which is pretty cool. Also swings for 8,000 power with the Climax, which is like really good. Usually on reverse combos swing for like 7,000, so
I played a decent
gets over standby targets.
It's a good threshold for sure.
I played a decent bit with like exactly this combo in Summer Pockets, the new me off door. Well, not new anymore, but it's exactly the same card except it bonds to a camera instead of this other event. The fact that the other one was stapled to a mill card made that probably a little better than this. So like as it stands, it's still a good, like for an on reverse combo, it's a pretty decent one. because of the power line.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I can dig it.
Definitely not bad by any stretch. Seems perfectly playable to me.
Seems
Alright.
like probably the go-to level 1 combo for Ronald Girlfriend, right?
Well, we'll look at another. Like, there's this one. There's one that we'll look at in a couple cards here, and then there's one in blue that are all acceptable that you could play. Well, varying levels of acceptable. But
Okay.
all right, next card. So this is the Chizuru finisher that we briefly talked about. So on play, whether it is through the play of this other Chizuru, which is the one that comes in from the event, it can change into this, or you play it from hand, you get the heal. And then on attack, if you have the other door in your Climax zone, you can pay 1 and ditch a card. If you do, deal 2. Gains 1,000 power, and until the next end of your opponent's turn, this gains, when it's front attack, you can pop it back to hand. So notably, it does not keep the power, but it does get that pop back ability. So it'll just be a 9/5, but you can pop it back, so the power doesn't matter. You do the one problem with this is you do have to have this card live. Winning field with a 11/5 attacker these days, even at level 2, is not a guarantee. That's like the first dicey part about the card. The second dicey part about the card is your stock. You don't have a really good way to stock charge, and if unless you're playing the Sumi level 1, and if you're playing this, it kind of pushes you towards the Chizuru combo we just looked at, so that you can play the event and maybe cheat in early, even if you're only running low counts of that. So you might not exactly be able to use the like full benefit of the effect of it popping back to hand, but it does at least preserve a card in your hand for the following turn, which is nice. And like burn 2 is fine.
Yeah, I mean, even then, on play heal, pay 1, ditch 1, burn 2, even without the pop back, seems like an acceptable finisher.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
You get the burn effect even if you don't win the lane.
Mm-hmm.
The pop back effect's like a nice little bonus. But even if you're like under them, you can still get the burn effect and push for game, which is nice. The stock doesn't seem that terrible, the stock threshold, because you could tap out completely for this combo and have like you could go for 2 of them still. You just swing with your off lane first, and then you have the 1 to pay for your next 2.
But then you won't have stock to play at one of these when it pops back to hand your next turn.
True, but I mean that's like you're going for the kill.
Yeah.
You kind of have to, yeah.
My point was that the effects are not as synergistic as they may seem initially.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a bait.
But the pop back effect on like a level 3 finisher is kind of interesting, right? Because like that does throw off certain finishers that your opponent might be playing. Anything that needs a reverse. Thinking about in context of English against something like ReZero against the Green Amelia that everyone's playing now in that deck.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
It hilariously turns off that finisher with the pop back. So yeah, depending on like how reverse heavy stuff is for needing to finish the game, this could become really relevant.
The big thing here for me, at least, is the trigger in context of the set. I want to be playing the Sumi stuff, so it pushes me more towards the mommy, just for the choice trigger.
Just so you can get the extra stock should you need it?
Yeah, the extra stock really helps you like pump more heals, because you can always rip back the event. You have a lot of ways to get back into it. We saw a way to salvage it. We're going to see a way to search it pretty soon here as well. So
maybe this is stronger in the decks where you're not playing Sumi then. If you choose not to run the Sumi stuff,
probably.
If you want to play a Chizuru deck here, if you don't play the Sumi package, you definitely play this stuff.
For
like 100%. Finisher's totally fine. Another B for me.
Yep.
Just another good playable finisher package.
Pretty middle of the road so far.
We'll talk about the changer more when we get to it. It's not that impactful. It ends up being a functional 5th copy, with like differing on play effects, so you can run 1 or 2 of it. It's not too completely important. All right, back to the top. Wow, Andy, you get a double feature.
Oh, another brainstorm in the same video. Look at that. When you play a Climax with a door, you choose one of your rental girlfriend characters to give a soul for the turn. And then you pay 1 restless, flip over the top 4 cards of your deck, and for each door you mill, you salvage. So nice little incentive to run all door triggers, I guess. It's kind of like the card from Konosuba, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly the card from Konosuba.
Well, that one hits on any climax. The same
is it?
card, except it's a general salvage. Yeah. The
So
big
this
thing
is
here.
a bit less useful.
Well,
This
it
forces
has
you into 8 door.
in a way, but it has really good synergy with the Chizuru if you can't win the lane to set up a side attack. So then you don't have to worry about getting the reverse because it's an on-attack combo, and then you can side for precise damage. You can like burn 2, attack for 1, or if you have 2 of these down, attack for 2. It's a really good. If you're in 8 door, there's really no reason to not play this one over the other salvage option for Sumi in the same color.
If you're playing all the Chizuru stuff, this seems
seems
like the play.
C+ for me because you'd only play it in that deck, but it's still really good.
I don't know why they, don't just give it like the Haruhi profile where you like trigger a gate, you pay 1 and do something.
I don't know.
The only good card in Haruhi.
They don't like stapling those 2 brainstorms a lot of the time. Usually other effects.
Yeah, just being able to pay out your climaxes immediately on triggering them is it's a strong effect.
Well, I don't know. We saw the
When you talk
Mashoku
about
cards.
they don't like doing that. What do you mean they don't like doing that? They do it all the time with bar filters and all this other weird shit.
Well, the Fate one was like the last one in recent memory, right?
Well, they have all these pants ones in
But they're not brainstorms, is my point. Like, it's a separate card.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, but like, come on.
I mean, functionally. I mean, when you have both on the same card, it opens up a back row slot for assists and stuff. So I don't know. It depends what they ever want to do.
Yeah, I can't have that. That'd be too good.
I mean, the Fate one's egregious. But anyway, we can move on. Bryant.
All right, we've got a 2/1 2500 counter. When you use this card's backup, you can pay 2 and free fresh.
It's really important for this set because your mill sucks.
Free fresh counter is a good card, yeah. It lets you save yourself from those bad deck states. It's important that
Which you will have to do. You pretty much have to run 2 of this in almost every Rental Girlfriend deck. It has extra utility as a backup if you're playing the Sumi stuff because they're already so big. So losing like 500 power when you're actually playing for field doesn't matter too much over like a 3k memory kick or something else. Alright, next. 2/1 Chizuru. During your turn, all your other Chizurus get 500 power. I don't know why. Oh, it's because Chizuru is spelled differently in Japanese, whether she's Rental Girlfriend mode or regular mode. It's also a global 1000. And then this is your climax support. When your character's trigger check reveals a door, you can discard a card. If you do, look at 2 cards on the top of your deck, choose one of them, put it in your hand, put the remaining cards in the waiting room. So it could turn a door into a climax if you're digging for a climax for the next turn. But I guess.
But I
it's
feel
fine.
Like
pretty
the
late.
Draw to these.
Yeah,
the big draw to the cards where you discard a card to draw or something is that you get to get rid of that pants or that bar immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not as high on this one. Like this seems
comes online way too late, I think.
Yeah, level 2 is generally too late for these climax filter cards, I feel like.
Level 15 to Chizuru is pretty good because she also has that green early play. So might be a useful one-of just for that. It's level 15 to Chizuru.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really swinging into the Chizuru stuff, I mean, you probably play this because you're in 8-gate anyway.
All right, next, back to Andy.
Cool, we got, this looks like a Sumi.
Yeah.
If you have Sumi Shy Girlfriend in your level zone, which is the Brainstormer.
Yes.
Right? This gets a minus level, so you can play it at level 1, so it's like a 1/1.
Yep.
Put a routine walk from Climax Zone to Waiting Room, the standby. When you reverse your opponent, and you get to look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, and take everything that is a Rental Girlfriend character or Embarrassed Maiden event into your hand. And you give something 3,000 power.
Yes.
Oh.
So this is the level 1 that you probably play. You only need 1 reverse, It does effectively win you 2 lanes. You can pretty reliably get 1 reverse at level 1, unless your opponent is gimping themselves to deny you, which, you know, will probably work out better for you in the long run since you're playing standby. You can put your big bodies on board anyway. So yeah, you play this down, you get your 1 reverse, you pay 1, you sack the Climax off, which is really good for milling through your deck. It means you can go like into your next deck immediately. You don't have to leave 1 card or whatever, which makes your opponent's bigger swings likely to go through, which is nice. It's a nice little extra bonus. The big thing is that you can also add the event off this. So we've seen a way to salvage the event. This is a way to rip the event off the top cards of our deck, and soon here in red, we're going to see a way to search the event from our deck. So we have a lot of ways to get it back, even after we've played it. And the 3K power pump is what really puts it over, because that card that can search the event also needs a reverse. So you can like rip multiple events at level 1 pretty easily off this and another card, which is pretty cool.
What I really like about it is that it's not a full field early play.
Yes.
The fact that you can just like play this down to your front row and have like 2 other attackers and both of your back row spots empty.
Yeah.
Means that you have a place to put your character you're standbying in off the combo. It also gives you the potential like high roll, right? And you can still trigger into another standby and still have a spot to put something. You don't have to like overplay something.
Yeah, it's a lot better. It's like weirdly a harder condition to hit, but like not really. You have the level swap too,
Right.
so you have like assurances, and like we saw the Sumi like the drops and filters. Like you can very easily set this up, even if you have to level green and then search it and swap it out, because you refill so many cards off of it. Even if you have to take a couple negs on turn, you'll pretty much refill your hand for sure.
Right.
It's pretty
I
nice.
think you just run 4 Brainstormers.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
100%. You have to. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're playing the Sumi stuff already, this seems like, you know, a free throw, and you're already playing around this card's game plan, and standby's a good trigger. So
Yeah. I think this card's really good in practice. I'm actually going to give it the A, but I'm pretty biased. I've played quite a bit with it. It's I know it reads, probably for our viewers, it reads pretty awkward. But after you play the deck a couple times, you'll see it's pretty easy to confirm and pull off. And like the payoff is way too good. Being able to rip maidens, like
Yeah, I
level 1.
remember playing Into You with this when it came out in JP, and you were testing the deck a lot. This combo seemed like the strongest thing you could do at level 1 for a combo that I remember playing Into, anyways.
Yeah, I think the card's super solid. And you just get a 2-1. It's usually an 8-5 with the support you stand by out. So this card can swing in easily at like 8-5, 9K, maybe even bigger if you have pumps down on the turn that it's played. So like you're gonna get that reverse if you have a target. The question is, again, if your opponent is playing in such a way that you can't get a single reverse, they're either playing Kage or AOT and they're still playing the Mikasa Mill Runners, or they're gimbing themselves. In which case, just set up your board plus that way. You still get the standby. So it's still a decent play no matter what.
No, also, depending on what top end you're running like the choice finisher or something. This is like a soul trigger, so you can choice it back to your hand too, which is nice.
Yeah, it's also like later in the game, it becomes like a really good target to put in your stock.
Yeah, free stock off choice.
You're done with it.
Worthless late.
Extra soul triggers for choice is really nice. You're like level 1 combos of soul triggers, and you also don't have to run 4 of it because you're only ever fielding 1. So like, and you play so many drop searchers, it's easy enough to get. Since your Ricky can't hit it. But yep, I think that's good for that one. Brian?
All right, we've got the Chizuru Changer. On play, look at up to 3, take 1. And when you play the gate, the same one that the finisher combos with, you can kill this card and put the finisher in play from the waiting room instead.
Extra consistency to get into your door on your combo turn. Pretty low commitment to throw a copy or 2 in your deck. Changes from waiting room, which is nice. It doesn't tax your hand in any way, since the Chizuru uses hand for the combo.
does heal when it changes, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, it does. This is also the card that gets summoned off the event, I think. Let me double check that.
Is it? I thought
No,
it
it summons the finisher straight away.
Okay.
Because the finisher comes from hand when you do that.
Yeah, so you get the heal.
You get the heal no matter what.
I like that it adds some consistency in the sense that, you get the heal and you get to top check to try to draw into your climax. I always like it when you can look at top 3 and try to draw into your climax. It's my favorite thing to see on a finisher. But
this way you get both.
Yeah,
you get both, but I really hate these. I really do not like the level 3s that you play them, you do a thing, and then you change it into the actual finisher. It's just like you're forced to run this. And I'm a big fan of the spicy tech cards, and this is just like
the eat slots, yeah.
This is like the tech spot.
And it's gone. Like, you just
like
lose
your
it.
tech spot on this.
I think it's still probably fine. You only play it when you're playing the other Chizuru. It has no use outside of that.
I mean, it's definitely playable, but
like I'm not saying I think it's bad. I'm just saying like
I get what you're saying.
I feel like I would feel pretty bad playing that. It would
be
a little bit annoying, but I guess you could choose not
to just lose a slot. You
like
lose a 5th slot on your finisher, basically. Because you want to run at least one copy of this. All right, next. We got this Sumi 3/2 on play. Draw 2, ditch 1, and then on attack you can ditch 2 cards from your hand if you have 2 or more other characters with Sumi in name. That is a non-cost if you're playing the Sumi package. You always will. Your back rows are both Sumis. And if you do, put the bottom 4 cards of your opponent's deck into their waiting room, deal X damage, and then gain 2k. X is equal to the number of climax cards you mill. So if you play JP before, you will realize that this is the exact same profile as the Owl Icy Tail from Summer Pockets. I am pretty biased towards this profile. It won me a trip to another country. This profile is like one of the best off finishers in the game, I think. I'm pretty biased. You don't have any other way to like decompress in Rental Girlfriends, so this is like a really good way to like hate on small deck, lots of climax deck states from your opponent. It makes it so that they can't do it. And because it's not stock costed or something, you can play it alongside a single mommy because of the way mommy works, setting your opponent's top cards. If you play 2 mommies, you can't really play this in the 3rd line very effectively. But with the way that deck plays out, you usually don't play more than a single mommy anyway. It's usually single mommy, and then this card is more effective because mommy's not too great on her own. But I mean, you could. It doesn't really matter. You're just confirming clean cards on top. You're milling from the bottom. So, it's fine. As an off finisher, though, I think it's absolutely crazy. This card's going to be 12k on its own. 13 with the climax down in front of the Sumi support, 14-5. You tap the Sumi support, she's 15. Card will get absurdly huge. It's actually better than the Owl Icy Tail because the Owl Icy Tail doesn't have the plus 2k because this has a fake characters on field condition, so it's even better. But I'll stop gushing about the profile. Does anybody else have a like thoughts on it?
I mean, if you're in a deck that is playing the Sumi package and you are playing a deck that allows you to maintain enough cards in hand to fire off this effect, Icy Tail 4 is, I think, an extremely powerful off finisher effect as opposed to other off finishers that'll be like ditch 2 ping 1 or something.
Yeah. Cantrip's also nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other thoughts, Andy?
Oh, nice. I'm back. I don't know. My internet just crapped out on me, so I don't know what you guys just said, but I'll say what I wanted to say.
Okay.
First of all, being that I was right. This is exactly what I was talking about with the last card we looked at. This is your top way to draw into your climax, but it has a useful second effect. And if you play that last Chizuru, instead, that is the same deck spot that you would sleeve this up in probably, which would be pretty annoying. I was also saying that I like what Carmen was saying about this being like a really good off finisher, and I think it would combine really well with the Chizuru red level 3 finisher we looked at, the burn 2. Because if your opponent's in like your opponent has a small deck and like a lot of climaxes in there, you can go for the ice tail first. Get rid of those climaxes and put your opponent on a fresh deck for the burn 2. Or if they're low on deck and you know it's all clean, you can go for the burn first and then icy on the next deck. So it seems like it pairs pretty nicely with that.
You'd have to stretch to fulfill the field condition.
Yeah, you need
that
both
deck.
of your back row characters to be Sumi if you're fielding this with 2 Chizurus.
But I mean, you could easily play
Yeah.
the other
Oh
Brainstorm
shit!
with
I didn't see
something
that
else.
other condition on there. Yeah. Well, the Sumis are the Brainstormers, a Sumi, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
The one that you need a million of in your deck.
Yes.
So it's a non-condition if you're playing the Sumi package at all.
You could just like play more Sumi back rows though. Like you could play the Chizuru top end and just like
People do
have,
that,
like,
yeah.
A Sumi Brainstormer and maybe some sort of Sumi assist.
Standby door has gone around for people who want a little bit more push over the mommy. I just value like the throughout the game value of the choice, but it's a totally like valid strategy. I'm gonna slap this with the A. I'm really biased though. I love these cards.
I think I'll go to the A too. I don't like the condition on it, but no, I'll give it an A still. This card slaps.
All right, next back to Andy. Oh my god, it's another Brainstorm.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god. Oh man. Brainstorm. Flip over the top 4 cards of your library, put them in the waiting room for each climax reveal. Do the thing. Choose a rental girlfriend in your waiting room. Return it to hand. Oh, just like the other 2. Oh, but you get a discard with this one, and you can spam it. And it is a 500 power assist. I don't know. What do you think, Carmen? Do you need a spammer in this deck?
Depending on what kind of deck you're playing, this might be like a good patch fix for your mill problem. But then you don't have stock, and you want both. But
we were talking about deck speed though.
Yeah, I mean it is an option. But there's also, didn't we see a check 3 Brainstorm as well? That's even more deck speed. I think it was yellow. It's been a week. Let me scroll up. I believe there was a yellow check 3 Brainstorm.
Well, this wouldn't be your primary Brainstorm either, though, Carmen, right?
No,
so you can
no,
kind
it
of have
wouldn't.
your cake and eat it too here.
Yeah, you can just play
You
it.
can Brainstorm a couple times in a pinch, and then the nice thing about
there
spammables
is.
is they don't tap themselves, so you can just swing with this after you Brainstorm with it.
There is a yellow level 0 mommy that is a draw to ditch 1. Self-rest. Brainstorm.
Interesting.
But this you can do multiple times.
This
And
seems
if
like
you're
a better,
playing,
like one up to grab.
if you're playing
Frozen.
standby, it does filter out your hand as well, which is worth mentioning. You do only have 4 standby in this set. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I would have seen 8 standby by now if it existed. But yeah, it's probably fine. Assist 5 is also fine.
Yeah, I mean, spammable can be useful in the right situation. So it's nice that
It is a better patch card, like as a 1-of for sure.
Yeah, as far as a flex spot goes, I really like it. The fact that you have the extra mill if you need it, but the 500 assist can also be like, you know, something you'd maybe salvage at some point, just because like you need a little bit extra power to get over a lane.
All right, moving on. Right.
All right, we've got Christmas Chizuru. On play, pay 1, discard a Rent-A-Girlfriend character, look at up to 4 cards from your deck, and take anything.
There's someone on Global that bought out of this card.
There is,
yeah.
Yeah, on release, somebody bought Yute out of this card.
Just for
How'd
fun.
that turn out for them?
It's back now. The
Yeah.
price didn't go up at all, but somebody did do that.
It is funny. They just bought it out because it was cute, if I remember correctly. It's a Rumia. It's fine.
It mills?
It gets into your climax.
Yeah, if you want a check for your finisher, though, I think I would probably rather play the Chizuru that changes.
Yeah, because it gets your finisher itself too.
But
I mean, card's fine. I like the profile.
yeah, it's okay. Another Chizuru. On play, mill 2. If you hit a climax, this gains 3k. And then you can discard a card when it dies to grab the 2/0 event back. Yet another
What's the
way.
2 event do again?
It's the one that lets you cheat in your finisher at 2, but it's like delayed. It takes a turn. It's not very good. It sounds good, but it like taxes your hand too, I think, over the course of 2 turns. Just like kind of suck, but you know.
Yeah, the event is like you play it during your main phase, which negs you 1 and does nothing, and then the next turn it plays the finisher from your hand, which forces you to play another card from your hand. So
And I
it's a
think it goes
-2.
off no matter what. So like if you don't have it, like the card gets popped.
It goes
If I
to waiting
remember
room anyway.
correctly, yeah.
That sounds right. It's
All right,
been
I'm
a
scrolling down
minute.
and reading this. This is a memory.
It's
this
act.
is
It's act.
memory to. So you can leave it there for a few turns if you want. This is like it's a minus.
Yeah, you minus no matter what. It's always a minus.
This is like an interesting mechanic to see though. Like this is just suspend.
Sort of,
like a
yeah.
suspend card, yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, it is almost exactly like suspend. Well, since the card itself isn't that good and it minus you on turn, this is a way to play less of it. So I don't know. I don't like it.
It's got deck speed.
It's I don't like it very much at all.
Oh man, though, you know what fucking sucks about this though? This is on death.
Yeah, it is on death.
So if you're like trying to have a die in battle, you grab your event for next turn, and then next turn you play the event, and you have to wait another turn.
Yeah, that's
delayed even further.
That's really rough. Yeah.
And this is not something like a Chizuru where you'd want to play over it. It's like you're minusing then just so you can minus.
Kazuya fucking keeps putting her off, dude. He keeps blowing her off, standing her up.
She keeps waiting. Yeah.
You'd want to field this earlier, probably at like level 1 or level 0. Like,
yeah, I mean,
if you're running like a few copies of the event, like just sculpt for it early.
I guess I don't know. The Chizuru's already.
Like if the event's not very good, right? Like I wouldn't want to run a lot of copies of the event, but at the same time, you want to get your value off this card. So it's kind of like, so I guess maybe it's a card. I don't think you'd hold it at Mulligan, so you'd definitely throw it. But this lets you get back into it.
Yeah.
If you did Mulligan it.
All right, back to the top. No longer a brainstorm. You're free.
Oh, hooray for now.
Curse is broken.
Placed on hand. When you play this, look at the top card of your deck. Put it on top or into the waiting room. And then also when you play it, you can pay 1, clock yourself, salvage a level 1 or lower character. So this is a Ricky that surveils on play. As an uncommon, that's a
common Ricky.
This is literally the double rare from Revy Starlight. It's the same card. It's an uncommon. If you don't have the mommy Rickies yet, you can play this.
Yeah, this seems like a fine substitute. It's a waiting room Ricky, so it's not quite as good, but
B- because the mommy Ricky exists.
What was the mommy Ricky again?
Search Brainstorm or search Ricky, and then it turns all of your climax triggers into wind when it attacks.
Oh yeah, that is really dope. And
Actually,
really
it's
like
probably
the
just a
surveil
B.
stapled to I really like the surveil on Ricky, but that other one's so good.
Yeah, I mean this is a fine substitute though. This card is perfectly playable.
It also has Chizuru on it for your Chizuru waifu deck that you know people are gonna build.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's pretty premium for a waifu deck then. Like,
yeah, you get like an actually
like multiple brainstormers or whatever. You have a Ricky. Like, you don't have to give anything up. That's
all the girls have functional decks, if I can remember correctly. Like better than normal waifu decks. I think Ruka's hard up for a brainstorm, but if I can remember correctly, she might have one. This set has brainstorms and spades. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, Brian.
All right, we've got Chizuru again. When this card is front attack, look at the top card of your deck. Either keep it there or put it into the waiting room, and the card has hand encore.
I think
500 power.
this pairs with the next card.
Yeah, I think they change. It changes.
All right. Yeah, it's I'll just read it real quick. During your turn, if you have another rent a girlfriend character, it gains 3k, so it's a 6/5 on turn. And then at the beginning of the encore step, you can change this into this card as check and wreck.
So it's a
level 1 check and wreck.
It's a 6/5. It hits over something. Start of encore changes into this thing that will die for sure, but lets you check and wreck and has hand encore if you want to keep it around for another turn. But it doesn't change back, or does it? And
No.
it's missing a third effect. There are 3 effects.
No,
on
it does change back.
Yeah.
It changes back. So it lets you keep level 1 check and wreck around for as long as the 6/5 is relevant.
I could see someone maybe just playing this card as like a level 1 check and wreck damage filter, you know? Like that would be kind of nice to be able to slam down sometimes, maybe.
Yeah, this kind of thing has been printed before. Isn't this in Niji? Brian? The yellow, the Adachi?
Like
the Adachi also changes into a 500 power check and wreck that changes back to the Adachi.
Does it? I haven't played with it.
Yeah, it does.
The Adachi's just broken because it gives you free stock.
Yeah, because the Adachi is supposed to refund itself, but you don't have to fulfill the entire change cost for it to work. Which was the reason people played the Adachi, and then they played maybe one of the check and wreck. But I don't think the other card is good enough to warrant inclusion, being a 1065, which kills this card, unfortunately. But I mean, the check and wreck is interesting. I'll give it the C just for.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought about it a little more. The check and wreck doesn't seem that good necessarily either. Like on a, like maybe like I could see myself run this card just alone, just to like on a later turn in the game be able to, like maybe at level 3 if I don't get triple combo, like I could put this in the off lane to throttle some damage on the way back, hopefully. But then at that point, you're giving him a level 1 to side attack, so
right,
that's pretty awkward on its own.
That has to get front
side
attack,
and you don't get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You also have to, if you're fielding this on your level 3 turn, you either have to field it in an open lane or you have to make an awkward side attack in order to keep it alive, or you can crash it and neg another card from your hand.
I don't like it.
Nope, not.
I'm giving it a C just for being a level 1 check and wreck, and that's interesting. It's interesting design space. The package has never been good enough to be played. The second card, though, sucks. 1065 ass.
Yep.
All right, next card. Back to Andy.
Okay, we got this Sumi. When you play it, if you have another rag character, you get 2k, so you're, 6,500 on the turn you play it. And on the turn you play it, when you reverse your opponent, you can pay 1 and rest another Sumi character on your field. If you do, search your deck for a Sumi or Embarrassed Maiden event card and add it to your hand.
Yep, so this is how you rip it out of deck. And remember, our level 1 combo gives 3k somewhere.
This is kind of like a Ricky, but you don't have to take any damage.
Yeah, so this profile is called Yuko from Hinology. And that deck very commonly did not run a level 1 combo at all, and instead ran this card. Because it played a bunch of merges, so it didn't need a lot of stock. The Sumi similarly plays for 1. So you can afford to spend 1 stock to rip an event that lets you early play on the following turn. Really good way to rip events out of your deck. Or just rip additional early plays out of your deck, whatever you want. Grabs any Sumi. Or like a fucking drop search, all Sumi. All the good cards are Sumi. So
it seems relevant, yeah.
Adds all the good cards in your deck. I'm a big fan of this card in this deck. Again, there's you can give 3k on your level 1 combo turn. So even if your opponent's playing standby, you can threaten to get over all their shit. Because this comes down at 6/5, right? And then you're standbying in the 2/1 back row that gives this 15, so it's 8k. And then when your other lane snipes a smaller card, you can make this 11. And run over whatever you need to, and then get your reverse.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is a 1065 that I like.
Yeah, this is
better than the last card.
This card's really fucking good.
It has a relevant second effect. What do you know? Yeah.
Pretty simple though. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. So
Card's good.
this is the trifecta of ways to get your event. So when we said there's a lot of ways to get it, we weren't lying. That's all I got. Next.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan.
This is me. Okay. Level 0, 1000 power, Sumi. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, choose one of your opponent's characters and send it to memory. Your opponent puts it back. So it blinks on play, and it is a level 0 reverse bomb.
Decent tech
Solid.
card.
Yeah, if you... it's fine on its own. It kills annoying level 0s. If blink is relevant in the meta, it seems like a decent tech option.
Give it the C+. Good tech card. I got this Chizuru. Be looking embarrassed. During your opponent's turn, if all your characters are rags, so if you're playing a legal deck... Oh my god, I said rag. Kill me. It is a 3k level 1 on your opponent's turn. Then it is a Climax Stitch Salvage. Better Climax Stitch Salvage than you normally get.
Yeah, swings at 3k. They die on the swing back anyway, so...
Relevant level 0 plussing effect if you happen to go first and you flood a bunch of climaxes off your draw.
Yeah, I like it.
Good for the Sumi bar deck too. If you're playing 8 bar, it like gives you a
yeah.
plussing 0. It's fine. Yeah, I think it's like a C+. You might somewhere in there. All right, blowing through these.
All right.
Andy.
You got Sumi at the bowling alley. There are 5 or more cards in your hand, plus 2000 power. When your other rental girlfriend character is frontal attacked, you can sacrifice this, choose one of your characters in battle, and give it 1000. So there's a field backup. There's also 3500 in the early game. Seems pretty dope. Also, we were talking earlier, Carmen, about maybe playing the Sumi Icy Tail with the Chizuru finisher.
Yeah, this is a good way
There's
to fix
another
for it.
Sumi you could put in the back row, so you have 2 Sumis.
This does double duty as an oversize. 35 is like kind of whatever right now with the way the level 0 like field pluses are trending. But the fact that it has a relevant second effect and that this card's name is Sumi. So because this card's name is Sumi, this card can be in front of your 1500 to Sumi in front and be a 5k that's also a field backup before any other effects. So
that is a good point.
It becomes a level 0 that like if you don't have the Sumi Yuko that we looked at, it could be like an 8k on its second attack. There's like so many little payoffs for the Sumi name that make it be like there's really no reason to not be playing this package. There's too many good cards, and they all have Sumi's cute little face on them.
Yeah.
Field backup's nice.
Radical card, yeah.
It forces your opponent's attack order too if they play an on-reverse combo, which like because your 2-1 tanks up and you're playing standby, it like it's more relevant than it would be in other decks when you see these field backups. So yeah, I'm also on the B. Because normally this would be pretty underwhelming, but it's got the Sumi thing going for it. And the way your board plays out, it ends up being more relevant than I would have thought. I usually play a different plussing 0 and this, but we'll get into that when we get to blue. It ends up being like a pretty sick field setup.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next.
All right. Level 1 Chizuru, 3500 power. During your turn, it is 5500. And when this card attacks, choose one of your rag trait characters, and that character gains +1 level and 1000 power. So it can select itself, can swing at 65 if you want, otherwise gives a level and 1000 power to another character on attack.
I think the Chizuru Slayer from the TD is miles better than this card.
Yeah, it seems fine. If you really need extra power, it can give power to your level 1 combo on reverse, but it's whatever.
Yeah, to remind people about that, that was a 104k that gained 500, including itself on play for your board, and then on attack gave 15 anywhere. So that card is just miles better than this one in terms of a field buff.
Significantly better than this. Agreed.
Unless you play against nothing but red bombs at level 1, in which case, like, I don't know, tell your players buy better decks.
Well, at that point, I mean, at that point though, you you don't even necessarily care because your level 1 combo could be that Sumi that's level 2 that gets around red bombs anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This card sucks.
All right. Next.
I thought I disconnected again. You guys were like really quiet.
No.
Thank goodness. This is you, Carm.
Yep.
Okay. 1-0 Chizuru. On play, you can discard any card from hand and choose a level 0 character and spawn it. 1045. These are fringe important in very specific sets. This is not one of them. Do not like.
I can't think of a level 0 or lower character you'd want to hit with this.
All right. We got this Chizuru. 2 or more other rental girlfriend characters, 2,000 power. So 7,500 hand encore. This is like I guess your standby target. If you want to have a 1/1 standby target, which I don't know. Do you really need it?
Given the Sumi stuff, it doesn't really seem like you do, but I mean, it's an option.
I mean, if you're only running, it sounds like the set doesn't have 8 standby. So like in 4 standby, do you really want to commit the slots to this?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't even think you play a 1/1 standby target in 4 standby most of the time. So
Never.
Yeah,
well,
the
one standby that you do have combos with it's actually a D. It combos with a specific card that you play to the field at level 1, meaning that you would never play a level 1 standby target anyway. With the way the deck shakes out.
Yeah.
All right. Ryan.
All right. We've got Chizuru again. If all of your characters are rag trait, this gains 1,000 power, up to 7k. When this card attacks, gains X power for the turn. X is 1,000 power times the number of your other rag trait characters. And at the beginning of your encore step, if this card is in your front row, you can kill it. If you do, choose a Chizuru straw hat from your waiting room and put it in the slot this was in. We're one piece now.
Dude, I was going to make a One Piece joke too, but I thought it would flop. I'm glad you did.
We looked at the other one before. We talked about it when we talked about the green one. Card sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it
swings for what, 12k?
7, 11?
11.
Only 11.
Yeah, that's low. Not.
This changes into. I don't even remember what Straw Hat does. It's not worth it.
I don't care enough to go look.
All right. The event. It's here. 2-0 Chizuru. If you have 1 or fewer other rental girlfriend characters, you can't play it. So if you're not playing a legal deck or your board is empty, you can't play it. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your memory, you can send this, so you can only play up to 3. I don't know why you'd ever try to play more than 1, because when you play it, you send this to memory. It does nothing else. It is 2-0 goes to memory. It's just a straight -1. At the beginning of your main phase, if this is in memory, this gains the following ability for the turn. Act. You can pop this from your memory to grave, and if you do, you choose one of the combos from your hand, place it at any slot on the stage, and then it gains an extra 1k power. Because of how affordable the Chizuru is already, I see absolutely no reason to play this card other than flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call you out on that one, Carmen.
Okay, hit me with it.
I remember, like at the start of this video, all of you watching out there, go ahead and rewind back to the part on the level 3 Chizuru where Carmen said it's too much stock.
Well, okay, but the Chizuru also has hand. The Chizuru also has a hand tax, and because she heals on play, she doesn't cantrip, unless you change off the other card. So you're adding a bunch of working pieces to your deck to play a card that's already like decently affordable. When I said that there's a stock issue, I mean that you're not going to be able to triple that card every game if you're playing the Sumi stuff. You're probably single or doubling it at best. So I don't know. And the Sumis are like winning board and are bigger than the Chizuru, so like why would you want to play over them? Unless you were like trying to eat your opponent.
Yeah, to be honest, I just wanted to call you out there.
Understandable.
Yeah, this is kind of
Look,
I don't
look
know.
how
Do you think like you could run it as like a 1 or 2 of, like with the
Maybe.
bonder to it that we saw earlier?
If you were
I mean,
playing the level 1 combo, like your 8 door, you
Yeah,
could probably
mhm.
get away with it.
because the level 1 combo just lets you take it back for free. It just lets you swap a card for it.
I don't like it though. It's stinky.
Yeah, I mean, look how happy she is with her stack of cash, though.
It's good
How much
flavor.
she got? That's like what?
300.
30,000? That's like $300 right there, dude.
Yeah, $300.
300 USD. She's
That's how much
raking
it
in.
costs. That's how much it costs to go on a date with Chizuru. $100.
How long are the dates?
I don't know.
You
You're the
watch
only
the
one
show?
that's seen. Yeah, you're
It's
the only one
important.
that's seen the show. You got to tell us.
Me? I don't fucking know. The episodes are 24 minutes, and she's not with
What are
them
you
very
allowed to do
long.
on these dates, Carmen? Huh?
Nothing.
Uh.
He just walks around and brags about her all the time. It's actually really cringe. He does become a better character as the manga goes on. The anime ends before you get to see him become, like, you know, a better person. But there's a season 2. So. Alright, last card. Andy, you get this one.
All right. Chizuru Photobomb. Ichiban number 1. If you have 5 or more rental girlfriend characters, choose a character in battle. Cannot deal damage to a player, and choose one of your characters, and they get 1,500 for a turn. See, they should have done this card with the last card's art, because then we could have had a real money counter again.
That would have
dollar
been
bills.
funny. This is fine.
Yeah, money counter's great.
Full field's a little awkward.
I don't play this with the Sumi package, actually. Weirdly, I do not.
Rest in peace, opposition by the shield.
I can't ever justify the slots to this card, because the Sumi package eats so much up, and I'd rather just do the repeated heals. But I mean, like, I don't know. I can't say the card's bad. The full field money counter.
Yeah, it's not bad. The full field is just so awkward sometimes.
And there's a stock issue too.
Yeah.
It is, but money counter's so good.
It is so good. Like, money counter's good. The full field ones are still actually fine. Depending on your build, if you have the space for it, you can try to slot 2 to 3 copies, which is where you need to be to make sure you see one by end game. There's no bonder to this. There's no extra way to get into it. This one's just all raw draw. So to get it 2 or 3. It also like adds whiffs off your Sumi combo, which is like a fringe reason to not play it. But
goes in your Chizuru waifu deck.
yeah, I mean, it's still a totally fine card. Chizuru waifu looking pretty good. Got everything
Did you play
need.
this in? What wasn't the mommy finisher the one that like twin drives you or like generates stock and all that stuff?
It does, but then it pays for it. Yeah,
drive.
it's Ditch a Card Twin Drive, but then what is it? The combos pay too. Yeah.
Does this set have any like just on attack free finishers?
I think Ruka is maybe.
The restander?
Maybe. I know there's something on the field condition. I don't think anything's free.
Because those are always nice to pair with money counters, because you can tap out completely for them and just swing 3 times, and you have your counter.
We'll keep it in mind as we look at the blue stuff, because I don't think anything else that we've seen is free. Well, no, there's the TD Chizuru, there's the Trouble Girl. That's free.
On attack burn one, yeah.
On attack burn one is free.
I guess that's the way. Still Chizuru waifu.
But yeah, red, another hit color. Was this the biggest color? I think green was bigger, because green had all 3 girls in it that we've seen so far. I had all 4 girls, actually. It's the crossover color. But primarily Sumi.
I don't know. Jason wanted to really be on this one because he wanted to red pill me on all the sweet red cards.
Well, I think you red pilled yourself. You were like, yeah, the Yuko's sick, like, and the combo's good. So he didn't have much to red pill you on. All right, I think we're done with red. We will see you all in blue.